Well, thank you for that. Well, I'm going to ask you my penultimate question now. You've had an incredible journey in your career, and you're still young, so you got some years, decades in you yet.
Particularly a few. Elaine, Kenny, Ian, Dominic.
Yeah. And you painted this very, very true and brought to life the reality of what's happening in Vietnam. It's super exciting. Now, I'm sure some of our listeners are wondering, what is that one piece of advice that you can give to someone starting out in their career, looking at you, Steve, and say, I want to be like this guy? What advice would you give them?
Well, make sure, like, if you start at the very first basic step, you can have a degree, but you won't, even as a Vietnamese, be able to give someone in Vietnam advice unless you've got your State Securities Commission of Vietnam certificates. You won't be able to do that if you're from the UK or Australia, if not qualified with a globally recognized certification as well. So it comes back to education, and you're a specialist in the training sphere, so you know that, right? You have ongoing continuing professional development courses and programs through your business. And anyone who's looking at Vietnam or engaging with Vietnam to articulate to foreigners in their own country, to their own country citizens about the virtues of Vietnam, they need to know that just getting their certification is what they need, number one. Number two, you don't need to speak fluent Vietnamese. You're not there to be a universal translator. Like, goodness, it's 2026. My first EA studied at the University of Westminster when I was at HSC. My second EA at SSI, he went to the University of Melbourne. My most recent EA was from a university in North London. And the one preceding him, when I was at Murray, great lad, and he went to a university in California. They all speak very good English. All the foreign investors' universal language is English. And the Vietnamese, smartly and wisely, have said that English is now going to be an official second language. So the children from K-12 are learning ABCs up to, what the word acronym stands for at the tertiary level. So you don't need to over-engineer yourself and, wax lyrical in Vietnamese. You need to be able to speak honestly about the virtues of your goods and services in your profession. If you try to think that you can go to Vietnam because it's a bit of a easier route or a bit of a fast money opportunity, more often than not, you're sadly mistaken. I've spent 12 years immersed in Vietnam at a high level, and I've seen many of those style of people come and go. And they're gone a year, 2 year, 3 year. And that's not uncommon. You have to be aware of the cultural differences. You're not in London, you're not in New York, you're certainly not in places like Bangkok or Hong Kong or Sydney or Melbourne. But a lot of what you do is standard and universal. We all use the Bloomberg terminal. We all use the same type of vernacular, and when we're articulating between each other on ID chat, it's all in English mostly. There may be instances where it's a little bit different, but I wouldn't put it in any disparaging way that you need to learn a language, because Vietnam is an exemplar of a global economy. As I said before, free trade agreements and language skills, international education achievements. It's top tier, but you need to be honest very much. And not be afraid to state your case if you see something going wrong. Most of the employment headhunting opportunities I've been presented with is because people have said to me, whether it be an old Korean chairman of Mirai or someone else, Mr. Stephen, we want you because, you just tell the truth, right? It's better to get a referral through being truthful than getting someone who says, I never want to deal with this firm, with these people again, and that is the key takeaway for any up and comer. Just work hard, be honest, and enjoy your time in Vietnam, from the beaches to Sapa.
Wonderful. Thank you very, very much, Stephen. Now, if any of our listeners want to get in touch with you, because I'm sure, just like I am, truly inspired by your story, how can they get hold of you?
Sure. Well, I'm on LinkedIn. I've got a LinkedIn. It's quite easy to have a look at. Stephen Brown with a V for Stephen, and do a search, either Vin University or have a look in any of the YouTubes that I've done. Mirai Asset, for Space Stephen Brown, VPS Security Space Stephen Brown. And then you're all welcome to connect with me on my email. And I'm a Brisbane boy, so I've got Steve at brisbane.tv. So Steve with the V at brisbane.tv. Nice and easy. So I'll be happy to communicate and correspond with any of your viewers.
So thanks very much for that Stephen. And you folks listening, we'll put all of those in the show notes. So you can just press on the link. So that brings us to the end of this episode. I really would like to thank you for all your time, Stephen, and calling in from London. It's rather cold over there. It's beautiful and warm here as usual. And to all our listeners, thank you for your time. And we'll see you again on our next episode. Thanks again, and take care.
Thank you so much, Rick. And thank you, everyone. Thank you.